Hello. So I came back from Greece a while ago now, 2 to 3 weeks ago, and I will not be continuing to study Greek. I had a lot of fun learning a bit of Greek. I used the very little bits that I learned in restaurants and hotels, or taxis, but I was a tourist, and so I wasn't making these deep connections, and I didn't study nearly enough to understand if anyone strung together three any more than 3 or 4 Greek words in a row, I would probably be very lost. So for that reason, and well, not for that reason, but the reason why I'm not going to continue my studies of Greek is because I don't have a strong connection to the culture. Traveling there is wonderful. The food is delicious. The people were incredibly friendly. And anyone who wants to travel to Greek, I would highly recommend it. But it would take about 1,100 hours, according to the FSI, to learn Greek. It's not related to any other languages that I have learned. So it's not a low-hanging fruit. And what I mean by that is, say, if I speak Spanish and Italian, learning Spanish would be a low-hanging fruit because I know the I know the grammar, I know the language structure more or less, and the vocabulary is easier to remember. It's easier to remember the word for independence if it's indépendance, independencia. You get the picture. Your mind can have something to synapse to and to make an easier connection and remember that word. So vocabulary will come easier, and that makes it what I call, or I've heard others refer to it as, a low-hanging fruit as far as languages go. Greek is not that way. I would have to spend the full 1,100 hours, and without friendships, without being part of the community, without having business interests or any financial motivation, I can't push myself to put in probably more than even 20 hours even a year, and that would be pushing it. Just 15 minutes here and there I could probably motivate myself to, but long run, it's not going to happen. For myself, what am I going to learn then in the next time? Continue my work with Chinese, even though I am having trouble, motivating myself with Chinese. The degree that it is foreign to me, the script, the fact that I've studied all European languages before. I love that getting this whole new culture, the history, everything around the Chinese language has been interesting for me. Unfortunately, again, I have no meaningful relationships in the language, so therefore it is somewhat slower. I don't have anyone that I'm speaking to in Mandarin regularly, which makes it harder. But I have the interest that's there to continue reading, to actually want to read over 100 hours a year, and to just study the language and read about the language, and maybe once in a while have a conversation with someone that meet up, whether on the internet or face to face, but the interest is there. For the other languages that I am very interested in learning in the near future, I include Dutch. But I'm interested in it from a linguistic standpoint, learning another Germanic language. Using German materials to learn Dutch, I think, would be interesting. It would help my German as well, and be interested more from a comparative standpoint. So I can compare English, German, and Dutch. And it's one of those low-hanging fruit. And then Polish, it's another Slavic language, same thing. I would want to compare it with Russian, and I just have a general interest in Eastern European history, Eastern Europe. I'd like to travel there someday. And yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun to learn another Eastern European language, and Polish being the most spoken one. And I know there are some very popular books and sci-fi video games that were made by Polish people, and maybe I could even buy that and turn on subtitles and use that as well to continue learning Polish. In any case, unfortunately, I feel bad for having a language and a culture. I feel like it's saying that I'm not going to study Greek anymore after I did a little bit is a little bit sad because I do have some interest. I really loved my trip, but just with limited time and having so many interests, you have to pick and choose what you're going to do. So unfortunately, I won't be studying Greek anymore. That's it.